Yeehaw! We made it to episode 4. We got to celebrate that. And also, we do got to celebrate that we actually launched our first podcast today. So I know we're recording a little ahead of time. We got a few episodes ahead. That's great. A lot of support already. A lot of followers. That's awesome. But just in case it's a new follower, Jeff, before they even know about us, they need to check us out on some social media sites to see what we're all about. Where would they find that, man? How could they find that information for us right now?
As always, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. It's all at The Tailblazers. Look us up there. You can also email us, thetailblazers@gmail.com. Shoot us something. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, even shoot us some like critical hate mail because I'd love to read it on the podcast because I definitely want to have a section of just people that just hated on our podcast or YouTube videos.
Mail time.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Blue's Clues, but like the whole version of it is like Blue's Clues has a bad email, and I really want to do that.
The green dog.
Yeah. Most people are like, look at all my good reviews I have on this podcast, or this show. Look, everybody loves it. Nah, man. What they really want to know who hates us, because that's how you know you're really getting. You don't ever want to put anybody down, make anybody hurt anybody's feelings, stuff like that. So, and maybe we're just really bad at editing, and maybe we have nothing important to say, and people want to let us know. So please send those to us, and we'll be glad to read them on air. So anyway, that's my 2 cents onto that. But it's time to get the show going. We did have a little bit of a busy kind of couple weeks, really. But before we even get in that, we have to just do what we always do. Not only is it launch day, I also found out that's going to be a national holiday now. It's going to be, the Tailblazers national holiday. It's going to be April 7th. Always going to be launch day. We're going to remember that forever. People will celebrate it probably in Germany by next year. But it is also from my wife's, don't know where she got the information from, but it's National Beer Day. She could be lying. Go ahead.
I told you earlier that I did not see this on any social media or anything from any breweries that I follow. Well, I did actually see it from one today.
Really? So I actually Googled it because you had brought up a good question. You said, what happens if she's lying? And I thought about that as well. What happens when she's young? What am I going to actually argue with somebody that's no, it's not beer day. I can't have a beer today. Of course not. I was going to accept that as blind truth.
Always National Beer Day.
It's all right. It's always National Beer Day, Jeff. At least it is around us and our adventures. So let's get this National Beer Day, National Podcast Day started. As always, Jeff has got me a beer right now, and I haven't seen it yet. So we're about to open it up and we're about to try it. To get us going into the day. And it looks like it's going to be a PastriArchy. The PastriArchy. Am I saying that right? That's what I'm saying it is.
Well, how about I read it for you?
Okay, because you read it to me. Tell the audience.
This is from Duclaw Brewing Company out of Baltimore, Maryland. This is part of their series called the PastriArchy. It's edition number 15, limited release. It is a Mexican hot chocolate brown ale, 16 fluid ounces, 7% alcohol. So what's your thoughts on that, buddy?
I'm actually excited. So far, of all the ones we've had, I'm the most excited to try this one. I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the screen because I know there'll be some hater out there that's like, I can't see the beer, even though
Where's your video?
Yeah, we've had described it before. I thought we did a really good job. Apparently not good enough.
I thought we did too.
Thank you for the feedback, haters. Anyway, this is a number 15. Let's open this thing up.
Hey, and this is, while you're opening it, this is a brown ale brewed with cane sugar, lactose, cocoa nibs, cinnamon, and cocoa powder. So it should be interesting, I think. And as always, Aaron drinks from a can and I drink from a glass.
Yeah, that's a really good beer. And I actually got my koozie, again, going back to a previous episode where my wife bought me koozies. This one says, life is better at the camp. I can assure you it's definitely better than being at work most days. But if I could retire and be a full-time camper, I probably would. The question is, I could retire. As a good beer. I actually like that better than last episodes. It's like chocolatey. There's like some weird aftertaste that I don't really understand, but It's pretty good still.
It's almost like Christmas morning. With that cinnamon or whatever else that's in there, it's like, this just brings me back to evergreens or something like a Christmas tree in your living room, just smelling stuff, and it's like boom in your face.
Yeah, I it's weird. I feel like I can relate to that, but at the same time, that description of Christmas Eve being like the beer that I'm drinking seems almost like an episode of Cops. Like it's a holiday specials, and they're like, welcome Christmas Eve. This smells like beer in here, and they're like opening presents, like some like trailer. Everybody's like drunk. There's like somebody beating somebody. That's what it reminds me of when you say that. But something also makes me want to really like it for Christmas. It's convoluted in my head. I know it's convoluted what I said, but it's convoluted in my head. So you don't have to understand it. You just have to listen to it.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Anyway,
I do like it. I get the cinnamon notes in there. Maybe the lactose is what's still on my tongue. Some I'm not real positive on where lactose is. Definitely get cocoa nibs because it has that chocolatey, like that, and the cocoa powder has that chocolatey taste to it. But I definitely buy it again.
I would buy this again, definitely.
But I don't think we'll be able to have a chance to because it's limited release, so they might not ever do this again.
That's the other thing that gets me. The best beers are the limited release, and they know it. That's capitalism for you.
Keep you coming back for more. They're like, ooh, we released this one. It's number 16. Try it. It tastes like ass. Hey, who knows?
That is such a weird description of a food or beverage, because it's like it most people say it tastes like ass, but how many? Well, I don't even want to know how many people have tried it. Ass.
Yeah, we're drifting off.
Yeah, we're drifting off on that one. We better get back to the outdoors where it's safe.
It's safer.
It's safer. Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a lot of ways we could go there too, I guess. But anyway, so let's get to the fact of the whole main point of this episode, right? And It's our last adventure, and it started by you. You're the one that decided to invite me to this adventure. So what did we do, and why did you invite me, and what was the plan?
So, well, I mean, obviously you're my best friend. You live like 20 minutes away. There's a neighborhood crappie tournament, and it's you and one other person. Who else am I going to invite? Obviously, Aaron.
Well,
so my neighborhood put on a crappie tournament where they're trying to get rid of the crappie population in the ponds around here because they are an invasive species of fish, but they taste good too. So anyways, it was no catch and release, keep everything, if they didn't want it, it all went to a family that would clean the fish and, eat them and whatnot. So anyways, that's what the day was. It was, they had first was, most catch fish. Second was, second most catch fish. They had a prize for biggest fish, and they had a prize for the smallest fish, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So, so anyways, that's how it started. In the ponds here, we got a big pond, about 38 acres, somewhere around there. So, of course, I'm like, let's go out there in the kayaks. Aaron and I, we got a kayak each. So let's go out there. I had a fish finder on mine. Aaron did not at that time, like before we went. So instead, we both went out and bought new fish finders.
Well, let's get on. Let me hold you there for a second, because I think the fish finder is a piece to our story, because I think you have to understand the build up to how we got to where we got. It's Friday. I actually have off that day, and I'm running around trying to get everything I need. Of course, I haven't packed, but I'm not too worried about it because I am off that day. I don't have to go to work, and I'm running around, and I do decide that I do need a GPS, and not only not a GPS, but a fish finder. Now, we've gone out and fished on the lake before, and you had a fish finder, depth finder, and I really never needed to really invest in one because you had one, and the second other being the fact that all the places that we've really could paddle to on the lake, I have a boat. I pretty much know where everything is anyway. I just drive by if I need next time on the boat. It's a lot quicker. So I decided I been wanting one for a while. I run around all over town trying to get that stupid GPS. I know you start running around as you decided you're going to get upgrade to. So we're both running around. You're running around on your lunch. You're trying to hurry. I'm going to one side of town to the other. And a time I get packed up, get the kayak in the truck, and I got to get to your house. I'm exhausted, and it's just been a lot. Just kind of wanted to sit down at some point. So we were doing a lot, and of course we got to your house, and then we still had to go back out. We got the food, and then we got the bait. So we had all those things that we had to do. We get back, we forget ice. We have to go back out. It's just a mess. Yeah, I mean, it's just a mess. It's just I'm gonna go with the word confluffle. It was just a big confluffle, and it was a nightmare. It was a confluffle, and so we finally did settle down, and you and I both worked on two things. We worked on getting the GPS, the transducer put into the kayak, as well as getting those little baskets. We had bought you bought like a milk basket, which was supposed to be milk crate, which was supposed to be very simple with two rod holders, and all we're supposed to do is put a few screws in it.
You my friend bought a kit.
Yes.
That came with the milk crate, two rod holders, and a little fancy, I don't know, little bag or whatever that goes on the side of it. Yeah. It makes it look cool, I guess. So anyway,
so cool.
You would think that'd be easy concept to put together if it all came together, right? There's no instructions, which I would think you would need some if you're mechanically inclined or use tools before.
I almost take that statement as an offense.
So anyways, he's over there trying to get these two rod holders on the milk crate, and they're not lining up at all, which they aren't. And it was very deceiving on what he had to do, and it took way longer than what it should have.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and the fact was is the picture didn't even match where they had placed them actually where they needed to place. So I'm
sure they zip tied them in the picture.
Yeah, I actually thought about this when I realized what we were going to talk about today. It was too late. I didn't have time, but I almost went out and tried to figure out what that brand was because I would like to batch them right now because that was stupid. So anyway, yeah, well, I wouldn't go get that. I thought it was, yeah, but I wouldn't go do that again.
Yeah, we can always take a picture.
Yeah, do not buy. Anyway, sorry for them. Sorry for the bad press. I mean, all 50 listeners are going to know now. So, so that they're out of business, bankruptcy. I see it coming. Well, just because their product sucks. But anyway, let's get back to the fact we spent a lot of time. I mean, we finally cooked dinner there. We baked some chicken and stuff. And
yeah, to my house at like 5.
Yeah,
and we didn't get out of the dang garage after doing all these trips until 10 o'clock, 11.
It was a little closer to 11 because when we sat down for a little while to eat and everything, and it was time I went to bed. It was like 12 o'clock.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah,
it's 12 o'clock. We get to bed. I sleep good. I don't know about you, but I slept like a rock. I think you said you were a little giddy.
I was giddy. I was too excited. I was up. I think I woke up at 2, 3, 4, and then 4:15, and I'm waking up. My alarm was set at 4:30.
So 4 hours to sleep. Let me mind you, I was already exhausted. I got a little COVID shot, so I wasn't complaining about being sore, but I was a little tired just the whole day. And so we got 4 hours of sleep, and we're up and ready. I feel good. You got some coffee going for me, like a best friend would, knowing that we're going fishing.
Put that timer on there, babies.
Yeah, we get up and we start going. So we get out early in the morning. What time do you think we got out there? About 6:15?
Yeah, it was probably about 6:15 when we hit the pond. I'm pretty sure we beat the guy that was opening the gates. That's how early we were. But he was supposed to be there at 6, what somebody told us. But you never know. But anyways, he was there opening the gates when we got there. So we were definitely the first ones to get on the water. Like actually get our kayaks down there and get them set up. And we didn't forget anything. It was it was a good morning. It was a great morning.
I'm glad you. Yeah.
We remembered everything. Yeah. Had everything charged up, ready to go.
And the other thing about that is to realize what a feat that is, because we have a lot of stuff. We're just between life jackets and gadgets and anchors, ropes.
Speaker each. We have a speaker each, fish finder each, paddle each, life jacket each. I had 5 rods. You had 4. I mean, we had the bait buckets, then we had the big bait bucket that we had all the fish in to begin with. Then we had to transfer those into the smaller ones to put on our kayaks. Then we had the coolers.
We had I had a water bottle with Gatorade bottle, comes in handy. And we had a lot of stuff. I mean, we really did. So we get out there. We're the first people in the water, like you said, and we're definitely going to post these. But we have some really pretty cool, neat pictures of just kind of going out. It happens to be really foggy that particular day,
extremely foggy,
which really created some good pictures. But we had don't forget, we have an American flag and a little light on top so people can see us. So that safety first, and that way we don't die, even though everybody was going to hit us with a running boat. But so that was really yeah, that's true. So we get out there, and Jeff, you've never fished your pond, have you?
No, not that big pond. I fished smaller ponds that you can walk to. I never went out there and fished the big pond.
So we don't know where we're going.
A new beginning for both of us.
Right.
This was awesome. The new adventures.
So we got a new pond. We got a new fish finder, and here we are in a neighborhood tournament. Now, I would say that sounds, somebody who's fished a lot, as not much of a challenge, I guess, but it was kind of challenging, right? How many teams were there, Jeff?
There was they said a total of teams. I think it was somewhere between 55 and 60. I think it was somewhere around there. And there's two people teams, so I mean you can do the math.
Yeah, so that's a lot of people. So we get out there and we just,
but they weren't all on the pond. That pond.
True.
So there's the one big pond is like 38 acres that we're on. Then you got 5 other ponds that you can fish on. They have to walk to. So I mean, it can spread out a little bit, but whoever has a boat is probably on the big pond.
Yeah. So it was actually a really comfortable day. I mean, it was actually not too hot. It was actually kind of comfortable in the morning. It wasn't too cold. That part was really nice. So we get out there, we start looking for fish. I mean, that we don't know where we're looking for. So we're just kind of paddling around, running the fish finder down. And I think we marked some stuff early on. Just
as we were going out, we did mainly.
Yeah, we didn't. Wasn't impressed with. I wasn't impressed. I don't know about you, but I wasn't overly impressed with what we found. So we continued to go on further. Of course, at that time, the deeper part, and at that time, we get a lot of boats everywhere, right? I mean, just boats everywhere.
Yeah, they were mainly trolling.
Yeah,
at that moment, some were using some live bait with corks, but most of them were trolling, moving around. But I mean, we moved into, like, I went one way, Aaron went another way at the beginning. Aaron was kind of near the banks a little bit more. I kind of went straight up the middle. And when I went straight up the middle, I could see just structure after structure after structure. So I texted Aaron when I got back. I was like, if you go straight up the middle, there's structure everywhere. But Aaron was on the side, and he said he found some structure over on the side too, where he was. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of pinpointing those areas so that we could come back to, because there was a lot of boat traffic for that little pond. So we wanted to be sure to come back and check them out later on the day, especially when the fog got out, because fog was still in when we were doing this.
Yeah, and actually the spot that I found, I did try to, over there on that right, when in the time you're referencing, I stopped to fish it, and nothing, man. I just received nothing. But but next to me in casting distance, there was a boat to my right and there was a boat to my left. So I'm sure they were getting a lot of pressure.
I'm sure.
We just had to move on. I moved on from there and just kind of paddled back out to you because you had said you found something.
Yeah. That's when I think too, we were kind of just drifting a little bit at that moment, and we moved. So you said right. So in that area, we moved to the left a little bit. We found pretty good structure area. And that's when we decided, well, Aaron's like, I'm going to anchor. So I was like, all right. So I anchored next to him. So we just kind of anchored, we're chilling, listening to music. We're just throwing out like beetle spins, rooster tail. I mean, just things like that, little things, because we're just going after crappie. So we're just chilling in that spot for a little bit. Well, I was like, well, heck with it. I'm going to get my crankbait out that I caught a crappie on a pond behind my tennis courts with. So I was like, I told Aaron I catch fish on this all the time. which I've only caught one there with it, but it worked because it caught the first fish of the day on the second cast.
Yeah.
And it was a crappie, and it was a pretty decent sized one. They weighed that one at 1.3, 1.4, somewhere around there. So I mean, that's a decent sized crappie, I think.
Yeah, especially it was got us off the cold, the cold streak we had going, and we were cooking with, we were cooking with grease.
Yeah, for sure. But I loved it when it was we were just kind of hanging out in that spot. So, a couple of the neighbors that I know, they were like, some of them were still trolling, some of them, had their bobbers out and trolling with live fish with their bobbers. But every time they'd pass us, they'd always go, "Yeah, Jeff, you figured it out? You find them? You find them?" I was like, "I don't know. How many did you get?" "I don't know, 1, 2, maybe. I don't know." And I loved it because they just kept asking, because we sat in that spot for a good, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour, I would imagine, somewhere around there.
Most of that, but I think where we, what we ended up doing, we did start venturing out, right? We kind of found I thought we found a line of activity, of structure,
right,
and just kind of fish. And we continued, then kind of transitioned in from sitting still, pulling up the anchor, to kind of paddling in, which is weird enough, in reverse. So we could see our lines as we paddled. And so if we paddle forward, the lines are behind us, we can't see them. And now we got like corks on them. We're using the minnows that we got. And it was probably 75 to 100 yard span, not very wide, but we, maybe 15, 20 yards wide. And we're just going back and forth. And Jeff is going one way, and I'm turning around going the other way. And we just did that for nonstop for, I don't know, an hour, just back in.
Wow.
Yeah. And you caught a couple more fish. I finally got on the board here and caught a fish.
I caught 3 there. You caught 1 there, I think.
Yeah. So we were doing real well there.
Yeah. I caught 2 there. Yeah.
So I guess the thing for me was, at that moment, Jeff, I thought we were competing. I thought, based off one of the fish you caught, I knew we were at least competing on, probably competing, at least in my head, at that time of day, per the fact that other people around us weren't catching that many fish either.
Right.
And I thought that you were competing for the biggest fish, and I thought we were at least shooting for second, probably at least competing for second on the most amount of fish. Yep. So I felt good about it. And we continued that same just path back and forth for a while. I'm on the other side of you at this pass, and again, you get another fish, don't you? You was at the 5th fish.
Yeah, I noticed that this one spot where these guys kept trolling, this one spot they kept getting fish in that one area. So I was like, I ventured my way over there when they were on the other side of the pond. And when I ventured over there, I caught the biggest one that I caught that day. It was definitely bigger than the first one that we've been talking about. They got weighed in. This one actually bent my jig hook, which I knew that had to weigh 2 pounds, maybe. I mean, it had to have been close to it, if not 2, for sure. And I got it in the boat. I netted it, got a video of it, put it in the cooler, good to go.
You even hollered at me and said,
I was so excited. I was so excited about that fish. There was a boat next to me with a kid, and he was like, "Man, that's a nice fish." And the kid's like, let me see. So I held it up. I was like, "Yep, I got him." I was just too excited about it. I don't know.
And the way you said, the way you just said, it bit my jig hook. I thought it made me laugh. I don't know why. It's just the way you said it, but I bit my jig hook. Anyway, I don't feel like that's.
I had to get the pliers out and bend it back.
Yeah, so it's good. But yeah, that was a really good fish, and that didn't stop you there, because you still had one more left to catch, didn't you? You still were going to catch one more fish. Tell me about that last fish of that on the next. Not the last fish, but the next fish.
Yeah, so we ventured to. Because we were fishing that area for a while after that one too, and the sun was starting to beat down on us, getting a little warm-ish in a way. And so I asked Aaron, "Hey, what about that left side down because there was another path you could have went." because it's like an L-shaped pond. We didn't get in the bottom L of it. And so I asked him, "What? Have you seen anybody catch anything over there?" And he was like, "I don't know." So we went over there. We ventured over there. Aaron was ahead of me. I was behind him. And he turns around. He's like, it's getting shallow. So he turns around. So I got to where he was, turned around. And then when I was heading back towards Aaron, that's when I hooked on my fifth fish.
Mm-hmm.
Hooked on him, got him on. He was definitely smaller than the other two. He got him on the boat, unhooked him, got him in one hand. I'm reaching around to put him back in my cooler and open up the cooler. And with that hand, try to put the fish in. Well, the big fish starts jumping around. So I put my hand down on the big fish. The small fish jumps out into the water. I'm jumping out towards the water. I reach over my left hand, and then I just go. And I'm in the water, man. I guess I had to cool off or something, but I flipped over.
I
lost the fish.
Yep. I was about
lost the big one.
Well, I don't know. 20, what did we say, like 30, 40 yards away from you? Maybe a little farther. And I the way he flipped, I don't know. I think I was watching him at the time, so I actually saw it. And the way he flipped, he was on my side, and nobody else was behind him. So I saw him float with his life jacket. Safety first, always wear your life jacket. And it saved his life in the 8-foot pond, 14-foot pond. So anyway, he was sitting there floating, and at first I was like, oh, I gotta go get him, because just somebody flips over in the boat, you're like immediately got to go react, right? I see you bobbing, and so I'm like, okay, wait a minute. He's like, there's nothing I can do at this point that's gonna save what already happened. And so I'm not even thinking really anything. I was hoping everything was kind of secure. I mean, most of the kayaks are, and we have abilities to keep this secure. So I was like, okay. So I wanted to hurry, and I got lines out. I got a little tangled up, so I had to slow down a little bit and get it. And of course, you got people over there, on your left side that are saying, "Hey, you okay, Jeff?" And they can't see you that well, so they keep kind of shouting out to you. I know you're good, but I don't need to start screaming.
I'm giving them thumbs up, too.
And so they head over there to you, and I finally paddle my way over to you. And on the way there, it looks like a regnet. It's just a car scene. It's just stuff thrown out everywhere. There's like beer cans floating, which we didn't even drink that much. But anyway, there's a beer can floating, and your net's floating. So I grab that on the way in as I'm getting closer to you. And as I sit next to you, I see 3 like silver fish just kind of sinking down slowly to the abyss of this pond. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And like part of me wanted those fish so bad because I'd realized that what had happened. At this point, I hadn't realized that you were actually trying to put a fish into the the cooler, or even that you were messing with it. I just thought she kind of jumped in, really. And from my angle, I couldn't tell what you were doing. And so when I saw that it had clicked in, we had just lost our fish. And so I was like, man, I should just jump in and catch all of them, So I scoop and I get one and watch the other 2 sink.
What I was trying to do when I was flipped over sitting in the water was trying to zip up the cooler to catch everything that was underneath it. And then the zipper broke. So then I was like, well, the hell with it.
Another bad product review.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to get that on the cooler not to get as well.
Not buy those, whatever cheap Walmart box, not box cooler, but bag with a little box in it. Aztec or whatever they called I don't know what they're called. Aztec something. Don't buy them if you're gonna go fishing if you want to flip it over. If you just happen to have the urge to flip your kayak over, don't buy that cooler. The zipper breaks on you easily breaks on you.
And so, Jeff, there's a lot of stuff processing in my mind at this moment. I know there's a lot going through your head. I'll explain what's going in my head, and then let's hear what's in yours. I wanted the first thing that went to my mind was I wanted to rag this shit out of you. I just wanted to give you a hard time, but I don't even recognize that anything. I knew the fish were gone. Like I knew that part was over. And so I just wanted to be like, yo, what the hell, what are you doing? And let's keep in mind my history of knowing you, that I at least know you flipped the kayak 2 more times before that. And so now it's just become a thing that Jeff can't stay on the damn kayak to save his life. And so that's kind of what I want to give it, but I know you're frustrated.
The first 2 times, one of them was really, really heavy waves, and we were coming off the beach at Lake Moultrie, and I was trying to get on from there, and I slipped. And we probably were drinking a little bit more then too. And that happened with the first time, definitely we were drinking more.
Yeah, hey man, that's your defense. I think it's a good one. It might hold up in court, but all I know as a juror is you've fallen off 3 times, and I just assume there'll be a 4th. That's in my head. That's what I see. But
one day you'll do it.
I know, and I know, and until that moment, I'm gonna live on this high hill by myself, and so I'm gonna just stay there. Well, what's going through your mind when you're in the water?
Mind,
you tried to get your fish up, that broke. What are you thinking?
Dude, my mind is I let you down. That was the whole thing. That's what I went to. Was I was in the game. I was in the hunt for winning this tournament, or winning some part of this tournament, and it was with you, and I wanted to win it with you, and that's the only thing. When I flipped over, I was like, I lost it for him. Like, I lost it. Like, it didn't have to do with you not catching any fish that day, but one. But it had to do with me
throwing that in there, huh?
flipping over with all the fish, and that right there, I was just like, I was down. I was so pissed. After that. I didn't care about my rod sinking to the bottom. I didn't care about losing anything that was on the kayak. All I cared about was winning the damn tournament, and I failed at it.
Well, I don't see it that way. I understand why you would think that. I'm glad everything was at least you obviously, I don't think you were going to get hurt too bad, but at least you didn't get hurt or anything like that. But you did lose a few things, didn't you?
Yeah, I lost 4 rods. I mean, we always have everything tied down at the beginning of every trip. Well, I just got tired of putting my rods on the leash for, after using them, going to this rod, going to that rod, different things are tied on them. And I just got tired of putting them on the leash, and that's a mistake I won't ever do again.
Yeah, and I think, is that the only thing you actually lost though? Is those poles?
Yeah, the 4 rods.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all I lost. The anchor fell in, but I got a buoy on it, so we just picked it up from that.
And the point you made to me, I definitely need to get one because I do not have a buoy for the anchor. It definitely would be worthwhile. Yeah, but yeah, I that did suck. And you know what? Even looking back on it now, which even to me sucks worse, is that there I am standing over you, and all I had to do was mark that spot, and we could have easily known where those rods were. But I think I was processing everything as well. Just yeah. I know you were disappointed and just trying to find your stuff, and that was floating because I think your Crocs were out floating. And I got to, like I said, there's just a little bit of everything floating around.
That wasn't even on my mind, man. The fish were on my mind. That's all I think about.
I think, and I agree with you. I think that's kind of what was on mine, and then just making sure that you weren't going to have like a breakdown because I knew you were pissed, like fudge, fudge, just carrying on, and like I knew you were pissed. I knew you were mad. So yeah, I didn't want to give you too hard of a time. It's easier now because there's a scab.
We did learn a couple things too. Always leash your rods, always. Mm-hmm. But the other thing was the fish finder was waterproof because it was in the water.
Oh, and for a while, really?
Yeah. And then the speaker, well, it's already waterproof anyway, but it was hooked up to the Yak Attack stuff that we have. And then the GoPro made it, and the flag made it. None of that broke. Usually when I flip the flag pole breaks. Yeah. So that didn't happen this time. So I'm like, hey, that's a plus in my book.
The best part was as he was flipping over the kayak, the radio was still, like, as it was coming out of the water, it was just playing music still. It's like the radio didn't even have any decency to realize something bad had just happened. At least he could have turned down the volume for a second, It's like somebody's crying in the other room and somebody's like, yeah, you want to go party? You're like, I just had a death in the family. Give me a second,
Exactly.
That's how it kind of felt to me. It's like, it's just playing this rock music. Dun, 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 it's like, oh, I feel like I just lost $300, $400 worth of poles. Chill there. But hey, good. That was a good product there. Glad it worked.
Yeah.
And we definitely use that on water.
Yeah, for sure. We did get flip deck over. Wasn't too hard when I was trying to actually, try to do that. But we did get assistance from a neighbor with a boat with a trolling motor. They were there, so they held on to the kayak. I just held on to the end of the kayak, and they towed me to a neighbor's dock that was out there doing yard work. And they towed me over there, and I just enjoyed the ride. I was on my back,
Yeah.
no care in the world, feet up. Just I'm like I'm done. Whatever, it's what happened. Life gave to me, and I just get to move on from it. So, anyways, we get to the dock. The guy there, very nice guy. He he was very adamant about not putting any mud on his dock, or making sure you were clean getting on his dock. So I made sure, and because when you step in the pond, obviously your feet can get muddy. So I just sat on it, but didn't even put my feet on his dock and just let him rinse off. And he starts talking to us. He's from Colombia, South America, not Columbia, South Carolina. So to get that straight, and he was talking to us. Aaron's over there, with us at that moment too. And I'm just trying to cool off from my, not being pissed off. I'm trying to cool off. I was already cool from the water temp because it was a hot day anyway, but I'm just trying to cool off from that. So he, the Columbia guy, he offers us, "Hey, you guys want a shot?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take one." I think Aaron said the same thing.
Well, hold on.
Like, I'll take one.
So he had mentioned that first, and I actually did not say that at the time. I had really just gotten to you. I missed the whole like clean your feet before you kind of come get on the dock. All I saw when I got there, about the time I got there, he just kind of took off running, not like full speed, but just a jog off. I'm like, okay. I mean, I knew the guy had said you could use his dock, but I thought to myself, I was like, yeah, I guess he's just done with it now. He's like, okay, you can use your dock. I'm getting out of here. This is y'all's problem. That's how I saw it. So next thing I turn around and, Jeff's sitting on the dock. The guy on the aluminum boat's about to kind of pull off and leave. And I see him coming back with a towel. And I thought to myself, oh, that's real nice of him. He's gonna bring Jeff a towel. Still this time, the time he gets like, a few feet in front of me, I realize he's got a bottle of something. And he's like, "Hey, y'all want a shot?" I'm like, that's when I'm like, definitely yes. I mean, at this point, yes, we need a shot. And I remember him saying to us, "I've been waiting for this moment to open this." And I thought to myself, like, who sits with a bottle of liquor waiting for a guy to flip over and just be the dock that saves him, Like, this is the bottle I got. So when a man overboard situation happened, I could open this bottle of what I assumed to be tequila at the time. And of course, that wasn't the case. And he explains actually that anytime somebody comes over as a guest, they open up a bottle and have shots. And so that was really a cool experience because he goes on and tells us it's a rum and it's, did you catch all of it?
I don't remember.
It was something to do with,
I was like, my mode was still, I was so irritated. I was appreciative of the guy, but I was like, my mind wasn't there to catch information.
Yeah, I noticed that. So I'm here trying to stay engaged, and I got out of it as some rum, and it looks like to me it looked like a tequila, like a clear tequila. It was a clear rum that in where I thought he said regions, and I thought there was like 34 to 38. There was 30 something regions, and each region has its own specific either liquor or rum. That I didn't catch either. And so he gets that stuff to us, and he opens the bottle. Literally, it's tamper sealed and everything. It's not even been on it. Says he can't get it in America. Could get it here once. They don't have it anymore, and you can only get it in Colombia. So he takes, these little. Not only did he come out with a towel and liquor, which I'm assuming we have to have something to pour it in, but he did come out with little like, what do you call it? Like plastic, it wasn't shot glasses, almost like Jello shot.
There was the little shot glasses put Jello shots in.
Yeah. So he comes out with those, and he pours us a shot, and so he tells us what I guess a cheers that they would do, or
yeah,
he does.
Their salute.
And I definitely don't remember it. or even I had a hard time trying to say it. But in a different language, we put our glasses up in the air, we put our glasses to the front of us, put glasses below and down. Now, if you can try to say what he said.
Nope, I don't remember. I didn't remember entree for some reason. I don't.
How do you say it?
To the above, to the middle, to the below, and then all the way.
Yeah, I was wondering who was all up above us, inside of us, and all that stuff. I was like, "What? Hey, here's Jeff and I, literally chopping up another language, screaming in the dock, not like full speed, but like we're like proudly screaming this language we don't know, and taking a shot of this substance that he calls rum. It wasn't bad. It did taste a little licorice than what I liked, or that I liked. It
was good though.
It was pretty good, and it was hot.
Cold.
It was cold.
I thought it was cool.
I thought it was hot.
Well, maybe it's because my body was cold.
Yeah, maybe you're just pissed off, and that was the coolest thing coming in at the time. Yeah, I thought it was just like room temperature, to be honest with you. But so he asked us, "Do we want another shot?" And of course, at this point, we have nothing to lose again. And Jeff is the passer offer guy, so Jeff's gonna pass me the liquor. But Jeff tries to, but he stops him. He says, "No, Jeff."
Stop him mid-track.
He said, "I think I gypped you off." And he pours more on. And I mean, so not only is this guy we've never met giving us shots, but like this guy's legitimate, like he's generous, he's really helping us out.
For sure.
So that was pretty cool. Out of all that, that was a really cool kind of moment because for me, it was, I don't know, it's just kind of like like you said it. I mean, I realized at this point the tournament was over. It didn't really bother me. I wasn't upset, and I definitely didn't feel the way you felt about it. I definitely wasn't bothered by it. I still had a really good time, but that was a good nightcap for us.
That was a good afternoon cap.
It was a good afternoon.
That experience was very. I mean, if I wouldn't have flipped, we would never had that experience.
Right.
So I'm glad I flipped.
Yeah. I mean, and if you think the fact that you lost like $300-$400 worth of rods, it's almost like we flew to Columbia and got a shot of natural. Like,
I mean, but then, and then, it's just meeting new people too, which I like and enjoy their customs and everything, which I wasn't in the mood to, catch all that information, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, it was a moment to remember.
Yeah.
And the guy was very nice, and that was awesome about it. And you just can't beat it.
Nope. No, that was good. I quite thoroughly enjoyed that piece to it.
Yeah. We did figure out who was playing all the Spanish music too.
Yeah. It was definitely going on. For a while there, I thought it was somebody else that had speakers, and it was definitely him. When he started kicking the soccer ball on the yard as we were fishing, I realized that's probably the one playing the Spanish music. So anyway, so that was a lot of fun. So moving on, Jeff, we got your rods in. I don't know if you want to go into it too far, but we did try going in for those rods here. We did try to go get them, didn't we? We decided we were going to go.
I thought we were going to finish off that day.
Oh, yeah. What am I missing?
Quick recap on what happened for the tournament. The most caught fish was 19. The second place was 17. The biggest was 1.9 something pounds. And the smallest was 0.5, maybe 0.4. I don't remember. It was a tie, so that was kind of fun. So they had to split that money. But anyways, that's the winners for that. I would like to say that it was that night we went to Lazy Creek Tap House and we had some barbecue. It was a great finish to the night, and that was awesome about it.
Hold on once. That also worked out really good too. I think the whole night in general was the whole day was really good. And then just kind of capping it off there at Lazy Creek, which is a place we frequent local.
It's probably a robot.
Yeah, read the message from your matching center.
Unless they just really, really liked it or something.
If you don't respond back to anything other than I'm in the middle of a podcast, I'll get back to you.
It says, "Hey there."
Oh, that's a really good opening line. Is it an actual person or a bot?
I think it's an actual person. Yeah, it just has to be because it talks about how she got 2 kids and whatever else.
If you don't respond back, I'm in the middle of a podcast. I'll respond back. Check us out on Tailblazers. And let's plug this thing. Yeah, we're that's fine. You got it.
Could be my match. Could be my, next one.
If she's gonna be the next one, if she's gonna be the next one, she's gonna like Tailblazers anyway, right?
So what are you saying? Hey, I'm in the middle.
I'm in the middle of a podcast. At the Tailblazers. Because that's where they can find us on social medias, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Gmail if they want to email us. You can say, like, how's it going? I'll reach back out to you. Just sound like you're too snooty to talk to her. Because I guarantee you she's going to check it out. We got at least one view.
So what do you want me to say?
I want you to
right now, hey, I'm in the middle of a podcast at the Tailblazers.
Listen, this is advertisement opportunity. I think you say, I'm in the middle of a podcast. Hey, hi. She said, hey, how are you doing? I'm doing great. I'm in the middle of my podcast. The Tailblazers. Check us out at the Tailblazers. How are you doing? Then that way it flows.
Hey, I'm doing great, in the middle of a podcast at the Tailblazers. How are you doing?
Yeah, perfect. If that doesn't sound like a bot response, I don't know what does, but I love it. I think it's worthwhile.
I don't think it sounds. It's whatever.
Hey man, all I know is this is now part of the podcast.
Is it recorded?
Yeah.
We can't have that on there.
Why can't we? We don't have to put a name or anything. Absolutely. This is definitely hilarious. We put no name. We've embarrassed no one other than you. And that's
well, I'm not really embarrassed. I just, I guess whatever.
Hey, this person, listen, this is the match. They'll know that you got Tailblazers, and they'll know who I am, right? Because we're only 20 minutes away.
They'll know I'm a real person.
They'll also know you're not a bot. I hope she responds back while we're here. Anyway, so back to where we were talking about. We cap out at Chapin, and we decide we got to go find your rods, don't we? We can't leave those rusting up in the rest of our lives in the water, knowing that.
Right. I think that was probably about like why I half-heartedly, because I remember in the water one of them I felt, and I grabbed it.
Oh, did you?
I just left it there. Yeah, and then I just left it there, and I was like, I'll get it later.
Oh, I did not know that.
Because I was just focused on the fish. I didn't really tell that, but I just remember it. But it was the cheapest. It was one of the cheapest rods I had on the boat. So I was like, "Oh, the hell with you! You can sink like Jack. Don't care." So I was like, "Yeah, whatever." But then I was like, we'd probably find these. We just get a magnet. We go back out there and magnet fish with it. That was something, in the back of my mind I've been talking about for a while doing, and I just hadn't, had the moment or opportunity to do it. Well, this was that opportunity. Hey, you need to go buy a magnet now to go rescue your rods out of the pond. So we did do that. I bought a magnet. I bought like an 800 something pound magnet or force, whatever you call it. I don't know. Maybe Aaron knows more. Aaron bought a bigger one than I did.
I got a little bit bigger, but I got one of the little case, and I was with you, Jeff. I kind of wanted to try because we're in the water so much. We're always just messing around with fishing and that kind of stuff with the kayaks. I thought it'd be kind of cool. I mean, at least the YouTube videos of people doing it, and they always catch cool stuff. Maybe I can. So I was like, yeah, let me get into that. I'll get a magnet too, and we'll do it.
Yep, and that's what it was. So it was the weekend after the crappie tournament. We went back out on the pond. This was a fun adventure just to start out with the drive. It was fun. So we had to get there and do the combination here. Couldn't figure out the lock, save his life. There's 2 lines there, which he didn't really know which one was which. So, don't give him any crap for that one.
No, that wouldn't.
Anyways, we unlock it and then we lock it back, put the kayaks down. Then we realized, hey, we forgot our paddles. So then we had to go back, unlock the gate again, open it up. I took off. Aaron stayed there waiting. And then I came back with the paddles, got the paddles, good to go. All right. So then Aaron realizes I'm putting on my life vest, and Aaron's like, I forgot my life jacket. And Aaron's like, come on, man. So then we had to unlock the gate again for the third time. And Aaron, I was like, Aaron, here's the keys. Go get your damn life jacket. So he goes and gets his life jacket. But in between it, like before that too, he was like, well, maybe I don't need it. It's just for pond. And I was like, yeah, well, safety first. We do flip over sometimes. Well, I do.
It's happened.
So, and then I was like, well, we're fishing with a magnet and a treble hook. I mean, not a treble hook, but a grappling hook. So there's a different, we've never done it before. So that was a key point to it. But he got back. We're all in there. We got in the kayaks, turned on the radio, and started going.
And we fished with our magnet and our grappling hook for, an hour and a half?
No, I thought it was like 3.
Oh, gosh. We fished, we did it for a while.
Because we got on there on the water, it was about 11.
Yeah.
We didn't get back to about 2-ish.
I actually think it was about 3. I think I turned.
It was like 3.
Yeah, I think I got back home about 3, which was, but it was a long time. And
yeah, but we didn't fish the whole time, or we didn't magnet fish the whole time either. We did do a couple, podcast stuff on there and whatnot with the videos and everything. So that took up some time, but then we paddled back together the whole way, which was cool.
Yeah, I said I want to do that segment of hater mail. That's what I definitely call it. It's called hater mail. If we can ever get somebody that hates us, I would love it to read it. But one of the comments that wasn't really hate, it was more of a pick at, was that one of our videos in that scene that we're on that pond, it looks like we're holding hands. And it's the recommendation was, hey, maybe you shouldn't do it so that you look like you're holding hands.
Maybe you should tie your boats together so it looks like you're not holding.
So it looks like you're not holding hands. I think if you look at it, you can clearly tell we're not putting our hands in the same spot.
I'm holding his handle.
Yeah, holding my handle, not my hand. Anyway, so I thought, as I think about that now, we literally held our kayaks together and paddled one. I paddled the left side and he paddled the right the rest of the way down this L. If he thought the other thing was suspicious, I guarantee you everyone on that saw us paddling together thought we were suspicious at that point, because they had to be like, what in the, did they only bring one paddle? They just created
other paddle.
They created a barge.
How much are you gonna lose in this pond?
I just thought about that. I was like, that's a funny comment. Yeah, we're holding hands. That's cool, whatever. But then I thought about that and I was like, well, people had to be questioning what we were doing at that moment in time. We just were really just chilling and drinking beer. So it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. I enjoyed it. It was actually fun.
Yeah, it was just us talking together, going back nice and easy. It's definitely not the most, ethical way, or not ethical, but the most
efficient
way of going on a kayak, but it worked and we enjoyed it. And we recorded each other the whole way. So that's what the beauty of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what we talked about, so might not get released, but
it
was very fun.
Yeah,
and we never mentioned we did not catch anything with magnet fishing.
Yeah,
but with the grappling hook, we did catch a Christmas tree,
and that was a nice win. I felt like because it was the last one of the it was one of the last throws we had. We caught a whole Christmas tree somebody sunk out there, and of course, well, we had to take the liberty to move it just a tad bit. So whoever's marked it's a little off now, but we got it marked, so we know where it's at.
We got it marked, so we can fish above it all day.
So somebody's not in the right spot now. Nope. So that was really funny. But it was a good trip. I had a lot of fun, Jeff. I appreciate you inviting me. I was glad to represent team the Tailblazers or Tailblazers. I guess I don't know if we always have to add the, but
I don't know either. But it just made it more real for social media if we put the Tailblazers. Yeah. And then I was able to do it on all of them, so I just rolling with it. But I think our name is just Tailblazers. We are Tailblazers.
We are the Tailblazers, and there's all those other imitators are just phony. So just keep that in mind. Jeff, you got another beer?
Hey man, I had two sitting next to me.
Oh,
you got your cooler right there. You didn't hear me crack it open a little while ago. That's a good one.
This is officially not a beer review because this is a desperate. I wanted to drink a beer as well. Michelob Ultra. I bet. Let's see what the date on that bad boy is. I can't even read it. It's October. Oh, it's October 20. So it's only. Oh, nice. That's cool. It's only a year old. So,
yeah, I like it.
So anyway, we talked about our week. It was good, man. I had a good week. We've actually really the last
about 2 weeks, really.
Yeah, I was gonna say about 3 weeks since the last time we actually recorded an episode. Because like I said, we're a little ahead of the actual date. That is fine. We got to release our first podcast, which we were excited to do, nervous, took a lot of work to do, to figure it all out, trying to Google and everything.
Sure.
What we got to do. We learned a lot from the first 2 episodes. I think our third episode right now is sitting as one of the best as we started out. I think this one will be a good one as well. We did some fishing tournaments. We had some good times. Well, we did. Yes, sure. We did one fishing tournament.
Wipe that out of there.
Yeah, we had one fishing tournament. We've caught a couple fish. We lost some fish. We lost a pole. We tried to find the poles. We couldn't find the poles. We paddled together down memory lane, and we got out and we ended our journey when it comes to crappie fishing at that moment in time. So I came out to think as we transition into our little next segment, which is all about the meats, the big juicy.
All about the meats.
Meats. I wish I was in an echo chamber because that's what if I was like at a rave, I would just love for like strobe lights and fog and just people going meats. I'm at a meat barn. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I am probably sure there's a club that like that does that. But
sure. If there's a place that chicken can poop on bingo cards, there's a place that has what you're talking about.
My beer's spilling over. Don't you? Oh my gosh, that's dumb.
There goes your stuff, man. What are you doing?
Dude, what's wrong with this?
Is it frozen?
Yeah, I guess it is.
Maybe you shouldn't open it so fast coming out of that little fridge you got up there.
What?
Is it frozen? You all right there? So anyways, if you're not watching the video, Aaron has now just opened a Michelob Ultra out of his fridge that he has in his room, and
it's still coming out.
It just spewed over, just foamed up automatically. But his fridge is notorious for freezing things, so I think that is the cause to it.
Oh yeah,
but we're just watching Aaron right now, just trying to save himself by letting the beer pour on him instead of the nice carpet and
the new table I just got,
everything else, and his new table he just got.
I legitimately have a handful of beer right here.
You won't drink it. He's gonna attempt to drink the handful of beer now out of his thing. Some spilt. I saw a dribble. His shirt is completely wet. Almost. I mean, you can see through it a little bit. I see skin. But I just wanted to recap on that just in case you are not watching the video. That is what just happened right now. It is all over his shirt. It is, I guess, probably one of the best Michelob Ultras he's ever had because he just had to put it on himself instead of him.
What the heck, man? This is the...
See, he is so speechless over what happened.
I can't. This is ridiculous. Another bad product review. Michelob Ultra. Not a big.
Don't drink trash.
If you want frozen water, just get Aquafina. Dang it. Anyway, I got beer everywhere.
Learn how to slow open your beer.
I'll do this so nobody can actually see what it is, which I'm sure they already did. But
yeah, because you held it straight open. Look at my can.
Yeah. It's so cold though. It's so cold. So anyway, after after our journey and spilling beer all over me. I wanted to celebrate our first podcast by shaking the beer and just blew it like a dang, champagne cork popping. Just wanted to celebrate, man. Just fine. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Nah, man.
And the fact was, we got it all recorded. So that's good. That's good.
We all make mistakes, brother. We all make mistakes.
Yeah. Silly. All right. As we direct ourselves back to this scenario here, we want to go into this section about meats. And we were obviously in a fishing tournament. And so I have just a broad question for you. Maybe you have some for me, but it's about fish and cooking and grilling and kind of stuff like that. Now, what is one of your favorite fish to eat and why? Or not why? I actually don't care about why. I just assume it tastes good and that's why you like it. And how? How do you like it prepared? Yeah, like I don't know what, because it's just really mellow and it's really nice. I like it eating.
It's good and flaky when you cook it right.
Yeah, like I don't know what I thought you were gonna say there. Like, well, he was a good fish, so I figured I'd eat him, But no. So, what is your favorite fish to eat, and how do you like it prepared?
That is a very hard question to answer because I like a lot of fish. I would have to say the most flavorful fish come out of the sea. To me. What?
Did you just say Did you just say the most flavorful fish come out of the sea?
Yeah.
That sounds like something Ashley Simpson would say, or whatever. Not Ashley Simpson. Is it Ashley? Who's the one that got Jessica Simpson? Jessica Simpson, where she like carried on about the chicken of the sea. Like I could feel like, she got like a little bit of like drama about or not drama, just people picked on her. They bullied her before the internet bullying was being cool about how she didn't know what the chicken of the sea was because there's no chicken in the sea and that's tuna. And so that's for some reason that comment's just like, I like fish that come out of the sea. Just sounds like something she would say.
I'm just saying like that's where I've had because to go back on the first episode, that sea bass we caught, that we grilled it and it was just delicious. I hadn't had a fish that tastes like that in a long time. Whenever I eat flounder, they're pretty good. Spotted bass, the spots, not bass, but the spots.
I really like to eat the spots on the bass. It's my favorite.
So chocolate chip.
Never been a big striped bass eater, but I like to eat the spots of a bass.
But those are always good. I had red snapper a couple times, fresh caught, and those are very delicious. I think if you want to go freshwater.
Hold Jeff. I asked you what your favorite fish was. Now
that's what I have to go with, man. I don't really have it.
You're just naming all the fish.
I don't really have a favorite type of fish to eat.
That's fair.
A lot of them and all of them.
That's a fair answer.
I would probably never eat a blowfish though. Because they can actually kill you.
Why couldn't you said any kind of other fish? And
well, we know where your head's at. Your head started at the beginning of the episode with that one.
Oh man, did that girl ever respond back to you?
No wonder your top's blowing.
I'm just so excited to see you. And anyway,
trying not to look at my phone. We're trying to record a podcast here.
Yeah, but there's a part of me that wants to know, too. But so while so let me go ahead and tell you my favorite fish would probably be a really good tie. At least I drilled it down to 2, and not every fish I ever ate. But it was mahi.
It wasn't every fish. It was 3.
If I'd let you keep on, I think you were going that way. You just got done with the salt water and you were headed to the freshwater. I would say mahi and wahoo are pretty tight. I think maybe like fresh caught mahi is probably my favorite. Not that frozen stuff like go catch it yourself kind of thing. Wahoo I like just because it's so dense, but that's where I would say for that.
It's a good answer.
Yeah, and how I like it prepared, because I don't know if you actually answered that question.
I said we grilled the sea bass.
Okay, you did. So that was the way you liked it. I think mine's actually, I really like the wahoo fried, like in little, like, kind of like nuggets, I guess I'd call it. I really enjoyed that. Homemade fried, not one of those things you get from a restaurant, kind of frozen stuff. Just fresh catch, fresh homemade fried up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I did cook mahi, but it was a frozen one. but it was fresh caught frozen.
But fresh caught frozen.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I did do. I grilled it, but I trimmed a pineapple and used the bark as the grill plank and put the mahi on it. So that turned out really, really, really well. And I like that. If I grill fish, if I get a pineapple, that's what I try to do with it. But then you can eat the pineapple afterwards and put it on top a little bit, get some extra stuff on there. But that's how I would prepare a decent fish.
That's I really like that. I wonder how we would do that with chicken. Put like chicken on a pineapple to like a
probably work pretty good. I think that pork probably be because pork usually goes well with pineapple anyway. I think that'd probably be pretty decent. Yeah, I would probably grill the pork a little bit and then put it on there and see what so because you're not going to flip it again.
Huh. Jeff, I feel like we're going to have to try this out for the audience. We'll record it and then video it. We might have a recipe.
Yeah, sure. It's called definitely going to try it. I guess you've never done it before, so hey, there's one. There's one for me.
Yeah, I haven't done the pineapple thing. No, I'm not. Yeah. So
it was very interesting. Everybody used cedar planks, so I was like, screw it, I'm gonna use a pineapple plank.
Yeah, I was using treated 2x4s, so whatever.
No wonder you messed up.
I wonder why you can't open a frozen beer.
Well, man, this is pretty ironic because my same question that I had was, what's your favorite type of fish and how do you like to cook it? I didn't have the why in there, but
yeah,
why
do you like to cook it?
Yeah, because I didn't need to know.
Yeah,
so
there's some things
that was my question I had. So
yeah, so definitely let me go ahead and I'll just say it again since it's an official question. It is definitely mahi, wahoo, caught, fried. I can go grilled with the mahi. I really like wahoo fried. It is good grilled too, but I just like it fresh fried. Just makes really good dense meat. I like the fact that it's got no bones. I did want to mention one runner-up that you and I had one night real quick before the crappie tournament. I think the week before you came over, we had a few waters, and then we decided to go on a golf cart ride. And on the way there, I decided, hey, let's pick up a fishing pole and let's throw it at the lake. So we took the golf cart down.
We just randomly picked up a fishing pole.
Yeah, really didn't know. Just a smallest lure that was attached to it. We didn't change it or anything. So we did that. Drove down there. I think I threw a couple times. No, did you? I think I threw a couple times and nothing happened, right? Gave it to you. Or you?
No, I threw the first.
Oh, okay.
The rod.
I gave you the rod.
I threw out the first cast. I realized it's a broken. Excuse me. There's a broken tip, and I was like, "What do you throw this rod out with a broken tip for?" So I reeled it in. Then I threw out the second time. Second time, caught the crappie. Caught something. Aaron's like, "It's a bass." I'm like, "I don't think it is." And I'm reeling it in, and then get it on the lake, on the dock, and it was crappie. It was a pretty decent sized crappie. It's probably about as big as in between.
We do have a picture for that. We can definitely show the haterades out there. We got a picture.
Yeah. But I do have a picture of the biggest crappie I caught on the pond too. So
yeah, we'll definitely show these people because they seem to be more interested about what we actually see than what it is that we do.
We'll just throw that on the video.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I have it. I know I got it on my phone, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. But yeah, we should definitely.
We'll add those on there at the end.
But
boom! Look at that smile. I mean, boy, that fish is just so happy.
And just keep in mind, we ate that fish, and
we sure did that night.
Yep, that was a lot of fun.
Went home, cleaned it, and everything else. Kelly's like, "What are you doing?"
Yep, that was good.
That fish was good.
Well, Jeff, I think that is going to wrap up the fourth episode.
Number 4.
2, 3, 4. So in this episode, let me recap what just happened. We celebrated our first podcast. We celebrated National Beer Day. We champagned a beer toast at the end. We talked about our journey on our fishing trip. We helped you, Jeff, get a girlfriend, which is, I guarantee you, and a new supporter on Tailblazers. I guarantee you, she's probably going to be the artist. Did she write back?
Yeah, she just sent a message.
Oh, this is great.
She said, "Listening now."
Oh, shoot. you might want to like respond like you might want to have some forgiveness in your judgment, as you know, I just screw it. But anyway, hey, tell her
I'm gonna say I hope you like it. Let me know.
Yeah, tell her don't just like it. I mean, just don't listen to it. Like, subscribe, and share. I don't care if we ever see you again. We just need your support. But anyway, so we've helped you now get a conversation with a girl on this podcast live with us together. Today, we are not only Tailblazers outdoors enthusiasts, also love makers. And it is an honor. And if they, not like your newfound friend on the internet or your mobile, how would she, the new audience member, find us if she was listening to us? Because you've had a director to it. I'm sure somebody else doesn't know. Where can they see the pictures? Where can they see the videos? Where can they send the hate mail?
Oh, let's start off with the hate mail because everybody loves to read that stuff. You can send it to thetailblazers@gmail.com. Again, thetailblazers@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at thetailblazers.com. We're currently podcast on Spotify, working on Apple, and we also have Spreaker, Spreaker. So check us out there, subscribe to those podcast links, and give us some feedback on those as well.
Once again, we appreciate your support, appreciate the family, friends, and the random people that have listened so far. As always, please subscribe, please like, give us some feedback. If you want to give us some hate, please be prepared that we will read it online if it's really good. And again, thank you from both me and Jeff. We hope you enjoy the little bit of life that we get to experience together. We hope you get to enjoy being a part of that too.
Exactly.